Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. This is the Tarot portion of the second half of my daily astrology vlog, which you can check out on my other channel, Astrology Today with Mel Rose. Here, I will discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page. Then I'll do a quick review of the day's aspects before I play another card that may give us something more to think about. So let's get into it. The tarot card that currently sits on the side of the page, friends, is the Seven of Wands. And, here we see a person who seems to be in a pretty defensive position there. They've gained some higher ground, and it looks like the competition is trying to sort of rise up and knock them off of their prominence. So if we put that in context, we just had the Six of Wands over here, and that was really a moment of triumph, right? Like celebrating and being celebrated for making a major achievement. And often, behind a major achievement comes competition, right? People see what you did, they can build on what you did, they can try to do it better the next time around. So, they're kind of coming for you. If you do something great, others are going to imitate. However, remember that you just have to remain active. Remember what I was saying about the Six of Wands. Like, you can't just rest on those laurels and enjoy the fruits of your achievement forever, or you will be knocked off of your prominence. You will be pushed out of the limelight, and you will lose your capital. Okay, so right now you have this capital and you're working to defend it, whether that's social or political capital, whether it's a physical piece of land, or some financial capital that you gained from your achievement. People will come and they will make you defend. You don't get to stop working. You don't get to stop trying. They will come and they will make you defend what it is that you've done, or they will come and they will make you defend your high ground because they want to occupy it. And with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle some cards while I remind myself and the cards that the sun is in Leo, and so is Venus. We're entering the final week of the sun's transit in Leo, so as we look back on Leo, the effects of that sign might actually intensify for us over the next several days. But as we look back, we can just, think about all the beautiful, emotional, and not just emotional, but spirited feelings that we get of, sort of courage and confidence and self-love, and a real understanding of our own beauty and power. And, Venus in Leo is really a time when we are very warm with our intimate partners. We really want to demonstrate, show our affection. We will buy gifts. We will make grand gestures, okay? We want to be careful about not making gestures that say we feel more than we do, all right? And B, like expending our resources on these grand gestures to a point where they set us back in other parts of our life. On the moon side of the page, the moon is a waning gibbous now. We're past the full moon. We have celebrated, we have culminated, we have tied up the celebration now, and now we're looking back. We're kind of saying, okay, this is how it went, and this is what I loved about it, and this is what I would not like to do again. And then moon goes out of Pisces, which is the end of that lunar cycle, into Aries at this time. So, we stop looking back and saying, this is how I'd like to do it. And we start looking forward and say, okay, then I don't need any of this stuff anymore, right? And Aries is really good for that, because you can just sort of make a fiery cut. you can get really driven about just getting rid of stuff. And so this is the time to be sort of prepping the list, having an idea, pushing things toward the door. That's the kind of activity we're looking for at this time. It's more of a mental activity, a mental desire to get started on the next thing, kind of by also getting started on getting rid of the stuff we don't need right now. On the moon side of the page today, several things are happening. Moon goes conjunct to Neptune, and we can be very sensitive. This is our feelings and our imagination, our dream life, our desire to connect in an intensified position today. Okay, so we're very sensitive. It would be easy to get overwhelmed. All right. One good thing about having all of this, being very sensitive to all this sort of emotional, intuitive data coming in, is that we can notice where things come in that are like bad vibes that we feel vulnerable to, and then we can do what we have to do to try to protect ourselves in those ways. Then closer to 10, Moon goes sextile to Mars. This is a very productive vibe. It's very you know we are able to compete while we cooperate, right? And that really ups the ante for everybody involved. It gets everybody working together. It's a great cooperative vibe. So anything that you get active on at that time is going to go well for you. And then Moon goes sextile to Pluto just after 10 o'clock. And I've labeled this the exposed nerve. It's just a time when there might be especially some interpersonal sensitivities, some interpersonal emotional hump to get over, right? An ending or a beginning, or a recall, a realization, a new understanding between a couple of people. And, so the cooperative sextile vibe there actually says, lean into that discomfort, that interpersonal discomfort, try to have the talk, try to clear the air. It'll probably go pretty well. And then we have this 5.5 hours void of course, so it's a great time to really get into our hearts, speak from the heart, have conversations with ourselves, with our loved ones, with spirit. It's all the same thing, man, right? Have those important conversations so we know how we are going to be going forward. And because this represents the void of course, the transition between Pisces, which is the end of a zodiac cycle, one lunar cycle, and the beginning, which is Aries, then this is a time to be thinking, while we're expressing our hearts, while we're having those conversations about the fresh start we want to make, the new approach we want to take in the feeling life. And then Moon goes into Aries around 3:45 this afternoon. This is initiative from the heart. It's another very active, competitive, cooperative vibe. We want to get things going, and we want to take action on things that fill our hearts with warmth. And that's a 2.5-day aspect transit. And then Moon goes trine to Venus, and Moon trine Venus, that's very late tonight, around 11 o'clock, but it feels very much like being love. It's just very warm and tender vibe, and we're very receptive and open. It's a great time, again, to spend with somebody that we're close to. And then on the sun side of the page today, we have a bunch of stuff going on too. Sun goes opposite to Saturn. And this can be like a really dour vibe. It can really put a damper or a sort of weight on our feelings in the outer life, on how we observe and express ourselves in the outer life. Okay, so be aware of that. We may find ourselves feeling somehow restricted or repressed, and or maybe overwhelmed with our responsibilities and duties in that sphere. So it might help to take a little break from your responsibilities, if you can do that. Anything that feels like a burden, see if you can take a little break from it. Or another way to take a break is to find some help. Ask a friend, ask a cohort, somebody you work with, to help you sort of get to the bottom of that inbox, or get out from underneath that heavy weight, whatever it is that is feeling like I don't want to do this, right? And then Mercury goes quincunx to Chiron just afternoon, almost 1 o'clock today. This can be a really anxious vibe. We can be really reluctant to sort of let our light shine. Sun trine Chiron up here is saying it's really okay for you to be you. But listen, if you're feeling reluctant about sharing yourself with people, about expressing yourself in a public way, it's okay not to do it. Okay, you can sit back. I hope nobody's gonna give you a problem for that. And then Mars goes trine to Pluto at around 4:30 this afternoon. This is a blessing of ambition. All right, this is like, I often say, transformation is unavoidable, right? Because people are very reluctant sometimes to step into their transformations. They don't want to, believe that one part of their life is dying and another part of their life is being born, right? But this is always kind of happening to us in one way or another. And then, Mars really empowers us in this trine position. Is like spirit is empowering us to act on transformations that we desire. It's empowering us to step forward in an active way into changes that we want to make. It's this blessing of ambition. So, take advantage of that power that you have at this time. Mars and Pluto together, very powerful. Trine, like, what God has blessed, let no man put asunder, right? That is the kind of vibe you have there. And that's going to run through the 28th. That's another 2 weeks of that. So if you start feeling a little pumped up, a little assertive, a little like, yes, ready to make these changes, you won't be alone. And then this evening at 4:45, Saturn goes perihelion. Perihelion is Saturn's closest approach to the sun in its elliptical orbit around the sun. And it means that something is being illuminated for us. Saturn retrograde, right? Like that personal review of how well we are attending our commitments and our responsibilities. And it's emphasizing, it's emphasizing the importance of certain parts of how we engage in the community, especially Saturn in Aquarius, to be a support so that we can receive the support. And then in the ongoing column, Venus is opposite to Pluto just through today, that green-eyed monster, that jealousy. It is there to show you what it is that you wanted or what you didn't want, and let's not fall prey to the pettiness that comes with it. North Node is conjunct to Uranus here, and this is like the shifting available of resource. And then the Sun is square to that conjunct. And so we get this feeling of anticipation that something is going to happen, something is going to change. And really this coming week, Sun is going to go quincunx to Neptune, and it's indicating a turning point, a time when things might change, especially in the outer life force. So that's really positive, I think. I'm thinking positive thoughts for that one. And then the Sun is also trine to Chiron. It is really okay right now for you to be yourself. You can go out, Sun is still in Leo, and be your lovely, glorious self. Put on your favorite weird hat, your favorite, whatever you feel comfortable and beautiful in, and, go do your thing, friends. Okay, go do your thing. You will find acceptance. You will find love. You will find community. I'm not saying you will find the romantic love of a lifetime. I'm just saying that you will find friendship and camaraderie out there. And then Mars is square to Saturn and sextile to Neptune, okay? So sextile to Neptune here, Mars is very sexy and bold, very sensual vibe. It's about our assertiveness and our sexiness sort of cooperating with our fantasy life, right? So put that together any way you would really like to. But then, Mars square Saturn says, look, don't try too hard. Don't work very hard at this, all right? If you are into a bold and sexy vibe with somebody and that person is not reciprocating clearly, then, don't stay in pursuit, right? Either find somebody else to be bold and sexy with who is receptive to that, or, change your approach. Change your approach and find a different way to be creative with the friend you have made. And with all of that said, 6 of Wands. Okay, so the 6 of Wands, we've just had this for 10 days, is about celebrating our victories, about allowing other people to celebrate our victories. Okay, when you've done something big, when you've put a lot of spirit and fire and fight into an achievement, it's okay to celebrate yourself and to allow other people to celebrate you, to give you gifts and to sort of pick up all of the social and political and even monetary capital you can gain for what it is that you have achieved. But this came in reverse, and on the advice of my dear friend Jill, who I believe said that this has to do with what's going on in the inside. It's very retrograde kind of feel, right? It points those energies in at the internal experience. So again, it's still an opportunity to celebrate your personal victories, right? It's even if people can't show up to make, to create a parade for you and buy you gifts, that kind of thing. Definitely notice the things, the changes you're going through that represent wins. All right, notice the changes that you're going through that you've really desired, or that you have even been determined to get to a point where you feel that you have made progress within yourself. And perhaps that internal sense of victory will help you with this external sense of defensiveness, right? You want to, when you're trying to maintain your prominence, you're going to want to remember what it felt like to be victorious, right? But also, this can be a battle with the self as well, because we don't want to. I don't think that most of us want to spend our lives sort of maintaining the high ground, fighting to maintain the high ground at something, right? We just want to do what we like to do and be good at it. And this reminds me a little bit of the Five of Wands, now that I think about it, because the Five of Wands, was sort of a fight and a fracas among spirited, driven people. And this is more like, yes, we're all still spirited, driven people. If anything, there are more people kind of coming for you at this point. There's more of a focal point of the fight and the fracas. But it also occurs to me as sort of a distraction, right? Because really the best way to stay on top is to keep moving up. So, feel your victory, right? Celebrate within yourself. And, that's a very Leo vibe, right? Like, know for yourself what you have done and really appreciate what you are capable of doing, and understand that you've got that. You have that victory, okay? You don't have to fight to support that victory because it's already been made. This really tells me that, like, understand that you've been victorious, and then, don't waste your time. Don't get bogged down in defending the prominence you have gained. Instead, move on to further prominence. While you still have the capital gain from that victory. Would you like to take a break? Sun opposite Saturn here says, this can be really tiresome, sort of, in the outer life, having to keep working. At some point, like, you worked so hard to make this achievement, and now you find yourself in this defensive position, trying, to sort of defend the ground, Saturn, that you have gained. Defend the sort of titles, or the material benefits of the things that you have gained. And it's not really a time to take a break, is it? But it is a time to perhaps think about moving on, and going in further pursuit of your achievements and goals, because we all have this plan, our own little plan for global domination. And when I say global domination, it's just like whatever it is that you ideally would like to be doing with your life. However, whatever level of comfort you would like to be living in, whatever that looks like for you, that's your plan for global domination, right? I have that's your plan for getting to the point where you feel like you have enough of everything. So, keep striving toward that point. Don't sit around and defend yourself against people who want to knock you off of your prominence. You gained it. You had that achievement. You have internalized that achievement. And now you can really, kind of, to heck with the haters and move on. I believe that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate your presence here. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today and Tarot.